Very quiet out there. Better be a good show, that's all I gotta say. Hey! Good evening. How we all doing? Excellent, excellent. This requires a lot of energy, so bring it, okay?
Okay.
Do not ever hesitate to laugh if you feel like it. You know why? Because it's a comedy. You're allowed to laugh. Just want to throw out a couple of thank yous. One, to Carolyn Smith. Those of you who have never been to her home before, you're going to get a real good idea what it might look like, because most of the furniture up here is hers.
Thank you, Carolyn!
Which then leads to Janice and Priscilla, Janice Adler and Priscilla Bean, the set designers. Your eyes are going to explode. Check out the program that you all were given for all the people that support us here at Rangeley Friends of the Arts at Lakeside Theater. And their numbers are many, and we can't thank them enough. So please give them your attention. The RFA, this has been a heck of a season. Once again, a lot of live shows, the movies, the slideshow, the Westerhoff. It just goes on and on and on here. And it's all thanks to you good folks who come spend your time and your life. Thank you very much. This cast of 13, it required 9 male actors, which in these parts is kind of difficult to do. Guys just aren't willing to step up. Don't know why. They're supposed to be, oh. But there's some kind of fear. Don't be. One of our cast members who was a couple weeks into it, decided they were going to do this because they knew life is short. Life is short. Do what you want to do. Don't let fear be the thing that controls you. So I put this out to all of you. You see a casting call, you see an opportunity, step up. Join us up here. It's a lot of fun.
Yes. Woo!
All right, exits. You see exit signs, right? If everything goes calmly and smoothly tonight, you'll just leave, la-di-da-di-da. But if there's an emergency or something, let your survival instinct kick in and just eat a panic death to the door. But I think there's a strategy involved because Terry's got 10 of them here tonight, so they're probably going to, be able to cordon off the area, get themselves out. Oh, the electronic devices. Please, power down, if you would. Except for hearing aids and pacemakers, please. I'm not saying it's an elderly crowd. I just saw the Borkos walk in, so I just wanted to. And the Zapolskis. This year, we lost a member of our family here. Susan Hamilton. How many people here know Susan Hamilton? Hell of a woman, hell of a woman. Those of you that did not have the opportunity to know Susan, she brought something to our small community here that very few were able to do. And she has left a long and lasting legacy, which will be with us for decades to come. Her tendrils will reach far into the future. And no one here on this stage tonight, every single one of them, in some capacity, was connected with Susan, whether it was in the theater or with the school, or just out in the community, and for those and so many other reasons, you'll see inside the program, we also have a dedication. But this show, we give ourselves, and what we're going to do here tonight, to Susan Hamilton. And so we dedicate it. How many of you know the story, Arsenic and Old Ace? You do? Okay, good. Because the background story is kind of important. Joseph Kesserling, not a household name, he wrote this. It appeared on Broadway in 1941, and it ran for a very long time. Made into a movie with Cary Grant, and then it has appeared throughout the United States non-stop. Never been a time when it hasn't been on a stage somewhere, and for good reason. The reason why I chose it because I was feeling somewhat nostalgic for a time before the bomb and 24/7 cable news just feeding us, bombarding us. So I just wanted to take a trip back, and I want you guys to come with us. It's 1941. We have two sisters who feel that it's their obligation to relieve some gentlemen of their loneliness by gently coercing them from this world with their elderberry wine. It's a black comedy. It is dark, no question about it. But boy, is it funny. And I invite you all to join us to watch Arsenic and Old Lace.
About your sermon last Sunday. It's really wonderful, Dr. Harper, how in only 2 short years you've managed to capture the spirit of Brooklyn.
Well, that is very gratifying, Miss Brewster.
You see, living beside the church all these years, our whole lives, we've seen so many ministers come and go. The spirit of Brooklyn, we always say, is friendliness. And your sermons are not so much sermons as they are friendly talks.
Personally, I've always enjoyed my conversations with Cardinal Gibbons.
No, dear. Are the biscuits good?
Boy!
Would you care for another biscuit, Dr. Harper?
Oh, no thank you. I'm afraid I'll have no appetite for dinner now. I always eat too many of your biscuits just to taste that delightful jam.
You haven't tried the quince.
Oh, no thank you.
We put a little bit of apple in it just to take out the tartness.
I could.
Well, we'll send you over a jar.
No, no. You keep it here so I can have your biscuits with it.
Well, I do hope they don't make us use that imitation flour again. What with this war, trouble and all. I know it may not be very charitable of me, but I am beginning to think that this Mr. Hitler is not a Christian.
Oh, if only Europe were on another planet.
Europe, sir?
Yes, Teddy.
Point your gun the other way.
Gun?
To the west!
Teddy.
There's your danger. There's your enemy. Japan!
Oh, yes. Yes, of course.
Teddy.
No, Aunt Abby, enough talk about Europe and more about the canal.
Well, let's not talk about war. Would you like some more tea, dear?
No, thank you, Aunt Abby.
Reverend Harper?
Oh, no thank you. Although I must say war and violence are far removed from these surroundings.
Yes, it is peaceful here, isn't it?
Yes, peaceful. The virtues of another day. The gentle virtues that went out with good manners and candlelight and low taxes. They're all right here in this house.
Well, it is one of the oldest homes in Brooklyn, you know. It's just as Grandfather Brewster built and furnished it, except for the electricity, and we use that just as little as possible. You know, it was Mortimer who persuaded us to put it in.
Yes. Your nephew Mortimer seems to only live by electric light.
Well, that's because he has to work such late hours, the poor dear. Oh, I understand he's taking Elaine to the theater again tonight. Teddy, your brother Mortimer will be here later.
Delighted!
It's a new experience for me to have to wait until 3 o'clock in the morning for my daughter to be brought home.
Oh, Dr. Harper, I do hope you don't disapprove of Mortimer.
Well,
We feel so guilty, Sister Martha and I, since it was in this home where they met.
of course, Miss Abby, of course. And so I'll be the first to say that I find Mortimer to be a perfectly worthy gentleman, but I also must say that I've been watching the growing intimacy between himself and my daughter with some trepidation, and for one reason only.
Oh, you mean his stomach?
His stomach?
Oh, the dyspepsia. Oh, he's bothered by it so.
No, I'm afraid I'm referring to his unfortunate connections with the theater.
The theater? Oh, no. Mortimer writes for a New York newspaper.
Oh, I know that, but a dramatic critic is constantly exposed to the theater, and I don't doubt but some of them become accustomed to it.
Well, not Mortimer. You would have no fear of that. why Mortimer writes awful things about the theater.
Really?
Yes, but you can't blame him, the poor dear. He was so happy writing about real estate, which he knows something about. And then they made him take this awful night job. But in the meantime, as he says, it is a living. And he doesn't think that the theater will last long anyway. I think if we give the theater another year or two... Oh, dear. Who could that be? No, Teddy, I'll get it, darling. Thank you. Oh, Officer O'Hara. Brophy.
Hello, Miss Brewster.
How are you, Mr. Klein?
Very well, Miss Brewster.
Come in.
What news have you brought me?
Colonel, we have nothing to report.
Splendid. At ease, gentlemen.
And you know Dr. Harper?
Sure. Hello, Dr. Harper. We come for the toys for the Christmas fund.
Oh, but of course, yes.
It's such wonderful work you men do, fixing up discarded toys to give children a happier Christmas.
Well, it gives us something to do when we're hanging around the station. You get tired of playing cards, and so you start cleaning your gun. Once before you know it, you've shot yourself in the foot.
Teddy, would you go upstairs and bring that big box of toys out of Martha's room? How is Mrs. Brophy? She's been quite ill, Dr. Harper.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Pneumonia.
Sure!
She's fine now, but still a little weak.
Okay, well, I'll go out in the kitchen and I'm going to get you some beef broth to bring back to her.
Oh, don't bother, Miss Abby. You've done so much for her anyway.
It's not any trouble at all. We made it this morning. Sister Martha is bringing some to poor Mr. Berninsky. I'll be right back. Everybody sit down, please. Be comfortable.
She shouldn't go to all that trouble.
Listen, try to get her or her sister to not do something nice for somebody. And for nothing. They don't even care how you vote.
When I received my calling to Brooklyn, my wife wasn't well. Eventually she passed away, but for some months before even, well, if I know what the words hospitality and charity mean, it's because I know the Brewster sisters.
Colonel, you promised not to do that.
But I have to call a cabinet meeting in order to release those supplies.
He used to do that in the middle of the night. The neighbors raised Cain with us. Anyway, I think they're afraid of him.
He's harmless.
Yeah, suppose he does think he's Teddy Roosevelt. Yeah, worse people he could think he was.
Damn shame. A nice family like that hatching a cuckoo.
His father, the old girl's brother, he was some sort of a genius, wasn't he? And their father, Teddy's grandfather, seems to me I heard he was sort of crazy too.
Crazy like a fox. Made $1 million.
Really? Here in Brooklyn?
Yeah, patent medicine. He was a quack of some sort. Old Sergeant Edwards remembers him. He used the house as a clinic of some type, and he would try it out on people.
I hear he made some mistakes occasionally too.
The department never bothered with him much. He helped out on autopsies, especially the poison cases.
Well, whatever he did, he sure left his daughters fixed for life. And thank God for that.
Not that they spend any of it on themselves.
Oh, I am well acquainted with their charities.
You don't know the tenth of it. When I was with the Missing Persons Bureau, when we were tracking down this old man that we never did find, did you know that there's a renting agency that has this house on their list for furnished rooms? They don't rent rooms. But you bet anybody comes to the door looking for a room, they leave with a good meal and maybe a couple dollars in their kick if they need it.
Yeah, just their way of digging up people to do good to.
Well, now, isn't this nice?
Good afternoon, Miss Brewster.
How do you do, Mr. Brophy? Dr. Harper? Mr. Klein?
How are you, Miss Brewster? We dropped by to pick up the Christmas toys.
Oh, yes. Teddy's Army Navy. They wear out. They're all packed.
Oh, the colonel's upstairs after them. It seems that the cabinet has to okay it first.
Well, of course. I hope Mrs. Brophy's better.
Oh, she's fine, man. Your sister's in the kitchen getting some soup for me to take to her.
Oh, yes. We made that this morning. I just took some to some poor man who broke ever so many bones.
Oh, Martha, you're back, darling. How is Mr.
Oh dear, it's serious, I'm afraid. The doctor was there. He's going to have to amputate in the morning.
Can we be present?
No, I asked him, but he says it's against the rules of the hospital.
Oh, you couldn't be of any assistance. Besides, you've got to save something for yourselves.
Here's the broth, Mr. Brophy. Do be sure it's good and hot.
Yes, ma'am. Oh, this is just fine. Gonna make a lot of kids real happy. That O'Malley kid, he sure is nuts about soldiers.
That's General Miles. I retired him. What's this? The Oregon?
Teddy here, put it back.
But the Oregon goes to Australia.
Teddy, now Teddy.
No, I gave my word to Fighting Bob Evans.
But Teddy,
Oh, what's it matter what kid gets him? Bobby Evans? Izzy Cohen. We're gonna run along now, ma'am, and thank you very much.
You are welcome, and thank you for stopping by.
Well, I'd better be getting home as well.
Oh, Dr. Harper, before you leave,
Charge! Charge the blockhouse!
The blockhouse?
well, the stairs are always San Juan Hill.
Have you ever tried to convince him that he isn't Teddy Roosevelt?
oh
No, he's so happy being Teddy Roosevelt.
Once a long time ago, remember, Martha, we thought that if he could be George Washington, it might be a change for him,
But he ended up staying under his bed for days.
Yes.
And just wouldn't be anybody.
Yes, and we'd much rather he be Mr. Roosevelt than nobody.
And if he's happy, what's more important than the fact that you both are happy? You'll see that he signs these papers, please.
What are these?
Dr. Harper's made arrangements for Teddy to go to Happydale Sanitarium after we pass on.
Why must Teddy sign the papers now?
Well, if the Lord decides to take you both, suppose we couldn't convince Teddy to confine himself to the hospital, and that would mean an unpleasant, lengthy legal procedure. Besides, Mr. Witherspoon understands they're to be filed away until the time comes to use them.
Oh, Mr. Witherspoon, who's he?
He's the superintendent of Happydale.
And Dr. Harper has made arrangements for him to show up in the next day or two and meet Teddy.
Well, I better be going, or Elaine will be over here looking for me. I just know it.
Well, give our love to Elaine. And please, Dr. Harper, I hope you don't think too poorly of Mortimer because he's a dramatic critic. Somebody has to do those things.
Did you just have tea? Isn't it rather late?
Yes, it is, Martha. And dinner's going to be late, too.
So why?
Oh, Teddy, good news for you, dear. You're going back down to Panama and dig another lock for the canal.
Delighted! That's bully! Bully! I'll get started right away. Charge!
Abby, while I was out?
Well, I didn't know when you'd be back, dear, and I just couldn't wait. And Dr. Harper was coming over.
But all by yourself?
Well, I got along fine.
Well, I'm going to run right downstairs and look.
Oh, no, not that, son. There wasn't time. And I was all alone.
Well, where is he?
Well, Mama, just look in the window, see? Oh, who could that be? Oh, I'll get it. It's Elaine! Oh, hello, Elaine.
Good afternoon, Miss Abby.
Hello, dear.
Good afternoon, Miss Martha. I thought I saw Father here.
Oh, he just this minute left. Didn't you meet him?
Oh, I took a shortcut through the cemetery. Mortimer hasn't come yet?
No, dear.
Oh, you told me to meet him here. Do you mind if I...
No, sit down. Please, sit down.
We really must speak to Mortimer about doing this to you.
Doing what?
Well, he was brought up to know better. When a gentleman is taking a young lady out, he should call for her at her house.
Oh, but there's something about calling for a girl at a parsonage that discourages any man who doesn't embroider.
Well, he's done this once too many times, and we're going to speak to him.
Oh, please don't. After a young man whose idea of nightlife is to take me to prayer meeting, it's wonderful to go to the theater almost every night of my life.
Oh, well, it's comforting for us too, dear. Because if Teddy has to see some of those plays he has to see, at least he's sitting beside a minister's daughter.
Oh, Elaine, what you must think of us not having the tea cleared away by now.
Oh, Martha, now, don't bother with anything in the kitchen until Mortimer gets back. And then I'll be in to help.
All right then, dear.
Mortimer should be along any minute now.
Yes. Father must have been surprised not to find me at home. I'd better run and tell him good night.
That's a shame you missed him, dear.
Oh, if Mortimer comes, just tell him I'll be right back. Oh, hello, Mort.
Hello, Elaine.
Oh, Abby, Mortimer's here.
Were you going somewhere?
I was just going to run and tell Father not to wait up for me tonight.
Didn't know that was still being done, even in Brooklyn.
Hello, Mortimer.
Hello, Aunt
How
Abby.
are you, dear?
Good. And you look well. Haven't changed much since yesterday.
Yesterday, yes. We are getting to see an awful lot of you lately. My. Won't you sit down? Why don't you have a seat, both of you? Oh, everybody, let's sit down.
Abby,
Yes?
don't we have something to do in the kitchen?
No, what?
The tea things.
Oh, the tea things. Yes, the tea things. Well, you two just make yourselves at home.
Just make yourselves at home.
Well, can't you take a hint?
No, that was pretty obvious. A lack of inventiveness, I should say.
Yes, that's exactly what you'd say.
Where do you want to get dinner?
Oh, I don't care. I'm not very hungry.
Well, I just ate breakfast. Say we get dinner after the show?
Well, that would make it pretty late, won't it?
Not a little stinker we're seeing tonight. I heard we'll be at Blake's by 10 o'clock.
Well, you ought to be fair to these plays.
These plays fair to me.
Well, I've never seen you walk out on a musical.
That musical's not opening tonight.
No?
No, darling, you have to learn the rules. For the musical, it goes through 4 changes of the title and 3 postponements. They like it up in New Haven, but it needs a lot of work.
I was hoping it was going to be a musical.
You have such a light mind.
Not a bit. Musicals somehow have a humanizing effect on you. After a serious play, we join the proletariat in the subway and I listen to a lecture on the drama. After a musical, you bring me home in a taxi. And you make a few passes.
Darling, that's a very inaccurate piece of reporting.
Oh, I will admit that after the Behrman play, you told me I had authentic beauty. Now that's a hell of a thing to say to a girl. But it wasn't until after our first musical that you told me I had nice legs. And I have, too.
You sure do know a lot for a preacher's daughter. Where'd you learn it?
The choir law.
I'll explain it to you someday, the close relationship between eroticism and religion.
Oh, religion never makes it as high as the choir law. Which reminds me, I really should run and tell Father, please not to wait up for me tonight.
I've never been able to rationalize it.
What?
Me falling in love with a girl from Brooklyn.
Falling in love? You're not stooping to the articulate, are you?
No, the only way I've been able to regain my self-respect is by keeping you in New York.
Did you say keep?
No, I just know you're holding out for the legalities.
I can afford to be a good girl for quite a few years yet.
And I can't wait that long. Where can we get married in a hurry? Say, tonight?
I'm afraid Father will insist on officiating.
Oh, God, I bet even your father can make the marriage service sound pedestrian.
Are you by any chance writing a review of it?
Sorry, darling, it's an occupational disease. Make it that play tonight at good notice.
Oh, don't pretend you love me that much.
Go and tell your father not to wait up.
I think tonight I'd better tell him to wait up.
Should I tell Winchell to publish the bands?
Nevertheless,
All right, everything formal and legal, but no later than next month.
darling, I'll speak to Father and set the date.
We'll have to see what's in rehearsal. There will be a lot of other first nights in October.
Hello, Mortimer.
Hello, Mr. President. How are you?
What news have you brought me?
Just this. The country is squarely behind you.
I know. Isn't it wonderful? Well, goodbye. Goodbye.
Well, Teddy, where are you off to?
Panama!
Panama's the cellar. He digs the lock to the canal down there.
You're so sweet with him, and he's very fond of you.
Well, Teddy always was my favorite sibling.
Favorite? There are more of them?
Just another.
a sister of Joan, or Dear Joni as I called her.
Well, I've never heard of her. Your aunts never mention her.
We don't like to speak about her. Joan left Brooklyn at a very young age, by request. You see, she was the kind of girl that used to like to cut worms in two with her teeth. I don't know. She wanted to become a surgeon just like grandfather, but she didn't go to medical school first, and her first practice got her into a lot of trouble.
Aren't you two going to be late for the theater?
No, we're skipping dinner. We have to start for another half an hour.
Oh, well then, I'll just leave you two alone
Oh,
again.
don't bother, darling. I really must run and speak to Father. Before I go out with you, he likes to pray over me a little. Don't worry, I'll be right back. I'll take the shortcut to the cemetery.
If the prayer isn't too long, I'd have time to lead you beside distilled water.
Oh, Mortimer, that's the first time I've ever heard you quote the Bible. I suppose Elaine is having a good influence on you.
By the way, I'm going to marry her.
What? Oh, darling, oh, that's marvelous. Mother, come in here right away. We've got great news. Oh, Mortimer and Elaine are going to be married.
Married? Oh, Mortimer.
I'd always hoped it would happen like this.
Oh, Elaine must be the happiest girl in the world.
Happy? Just look at her leaping over those gravestones. Say, what's that?
What's what, dear?
That statue there, it's a horned Anita Carnita.
Oh, nonsense, dear. That's Timothy Stroud ascending to heaven.
No, Mr. Stroud's left ear. That's a red-crested swallow. I've only seen one of those before in my life.
Well, I don't understand how you could be thinking about a bird at a time like this. What with Elaine and the wedding and everything.
It's a vanishing species. Thoreau was very fond of them. By the way, I left a large envelope around here last week. It was containing one of the chapters of my book on Thoreau. Have you seen it?
Well, if you left it here, it must be around somewhere.
What can you tell us more about your plans? When do you plan to be married? And isn't there anything else about Elaine that you can tell us?
Elaine? Elaine thought it was brilliant.
What was, dear?
My chapter on Thoreau.
I think when Elaine comes back, we ought to have a celebration and drink to your happiness. Is there any that way you both will take refuge?
Oh, yes.
Excellent. And I'll open a bottle of wine.
And to think it happened in this room.
Now, where did I leave that? Aunt Abby?
Yes, dear?
You said you were going to make plans for Teddy to go to that sanitarium, Happydale.
Yes, Dr. Harper was here today, and he brought the papers for Teddy to sign.
Well, he has to sign them right away.
That's what Dr. Harper thinks, so there won't be any legal difficulties after we pass on.
He has to sign them this minute. Is he down in the cellar? I'll get him up here.
Oh, there's no such hurry as that.
And when he starts working on the cellar canal, there's no getting his mind on anything else.
He has to go to Happydale tonight.
Oh, no, dear. That's not till after we're gone.
Right away, I tell you, right away.
No, dear. As long as we're alive, we'll never be separated from Teddy.
Now listen, darlings. I'm sorry to tell you this, but I have some shocking news. We have to try and keep our heads. I know we sort of humored Teddy because we thought he was harmless.
Well, he is harmless,
He
dear.
was harmless. That's why he has to go to Happydale. That's why he has to be confined.
Good. Why have you suddenly turned against Teddy? Your own brother.
You have to know sometime, and it might as well be now. Teddy's killed a man. But there's a body in the window seat.
Yes, dear, we know.
You know?
Of course we do, dear, but it's got nothing to do with Teddy.
Now, Mortimer, you just forget about it. Forget you ever saw that gentleman.
Forget?
Why, we never dreamed you would peek.
Well, who is he?
His name is Hoskins, and Adam Hoskins. That's really all I know about him.
That's-
Except, Mother, he's a Methodist.
Oh? That's all you know about him? Well, what happened to him? How did he get in there? Now, Aunt Martha, men just don't go crawling into window seats and die.
No, dear, he died first.
How did he die?
Mortimer, don't be so inquisitive. The man died because he drank some wine with poison in it.
He drank wine with poison in it?
Do you want to know how the poison got in the wine?
We put it in wine because it's less noticeable. When it's in tea, it has a distinct odor.
You put the poison in the wine?
Yes. And I put Mr. Hoskins in the window seat because Reverend Harper was coming over.
So you know what you've done. You didn't want Reverend Harper to see.
Well, of course not, dear. Not at tea. That would have been very nice. Now, Mortimer, you know the whole thing. I want you to forget about it. I do think that Martha and I are entitled to our own little secrets.
And don't you tell Elaine.
Oh, yes.
While I was out, I stopped in to see Mrs. Schultz. She is doing much better, and she would like us to take Junior to the movies again.
Well, then we must do that the next day.
Yes, but this time, we'll go where we want to go. Junior's not going to drag me into another one of those scary pictures.
Scary movies.
Hello, city desk? Give me Al. Hello, Al, it's Mort. When I left the office, I told you where I was going. Well, where did I say? That's right, it would take me about a half hour to get to Brooklyn. What time have you got? That's right, I must be here. Abby, Martha, come in here.
Quickly, right in. Yes.
What are we going to do? What are we going to do?
Well, what are we going to do about what, dear?
There's a body in there.
Yes, Mr. Hoskins.
Well, I can't turn you over to the police, but what am I supposed to do?
Well, for one thing, dear, you could stop being so excited.
But Mr.
And
Hoskins...
for pity's sake, stop worrying. We told you to forget about the whole thing.
Forget, my dear Aunt Abby. I can't make you realize that something has to be done.
I don't think so.
But Mr. Hoskins...
Hoskins, dear.
Well, whatever his name is, you can't leave him in there.
Well, we don't intend to, dear.
Teddy's down in the cellar right now, digging another lock for the canal.
Going to bury him in the cellar?
Well, that's what we did with the others.
No, you can't bury Miss... Others?
The other gentlemen.
When you say others, do you mean others? Such as more than one others?
Well, let me see. This makes 11, doesn't it, Abby?
No, dear, this makes 12.
Oh, I think you're wrong, Abby. I think this is only 11.
No, dear, because I distinctly remember when Mr. Hoskins came in the door, I thought, oh, he'll make an even dozen.
Well, we really can't count the first one.
Well, I was counting the first one, so this is 12.
Hello, Al? My, so good to hear your voice.
Anyway, they're all down in the cellar. Oh.
No, Al, I'm sober as a lark. I just called to tell you I'm feeling a little pirandello. Look, Al, you wouldn't know. I'm glad you called. I can't cover that play tonight. You got to send George. Well, this is my department, isn't it? You send George, and I'll talk to you later. Now, where were we? 12?
Well, yes. Abby thinks we should count the first one, and that makes 12.
Well, who was the first one?
Mr. Midgley. He was a Baptist.
I still think we can't claim full credit for him because he just died.
Well, Martha means without any help from us. You see, Mr. Midgley came here looking for a room.
It was right after you moved to New York.
And it would seem such a shame that that big, beautiful room upstairs was going to waste when there were so many people that needed it.
He was such a lonely old man.
All his kin and kith were dead and left him so lonely and forlorn.
Oh, we felt so sorry for him.
So when his heart attack came and he sat dead right here in this chair, looking so peaceful. Remember, Mom? Well, we made it up our mind right then and there that if we could help other lonely old gentlemen to the same peace, we would.
Died right in that chair. How awful for you.
Oh, not at all. Why, it was more like old times. You see, your grandfather always had a cadaver or two around the house. You know? Teddy had been digging in Panama, and he thought Mr. Mitchley was a yellow fever victim.
Of course, that meant he had to be buried right away.
So that's how this all started. That man just walking in here dropping dead?
Well, we knew we couldn't plan on that happening all the time. So,
Well, you know all those jars of poison that have been on your grandfather's shelves in his laboratory all these years.
and you know your Aunt Martha's knack for mixing things up. Why, you've had enough of her piccalilli.
So, for every gallon of elderberry wine, I take a teaspoonful of arsenic, and then a half teaspoonful of strychnine, and then just a pinch of cyanide.
Should have quite a kick.
It does. In fact, one of our gentlemen had time to say, "How delicious."
I must really get things started in the kitchen.
Yes. Oh, well, I wish you could stay for dinner, Mortimer.
I'm trying out a new recipe.
I couldn't eat a thing.
Well, I feel so much better now that you know the whole thing. Oh, but you have to wait for Elaine, don't you? Well, I'll leave you here with your thoughts. You must be so happy.
Oh, it's you.
Oh, don't be cross, darling. Father could tell I was excited, so I told him about us, and that made it hard for me to get away. But listen, darling, he's not going to wait up for me tonight.
Look, Elaine, you run along home. I'll call you up tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
You know I always call you every day or two.
But we're going to the theater tonight.
No, we're not.
Well, why not?
Elaine, something has come up.
What is it, darling? Did you lose your job?
No, I haven't lost my job. It's just I'm not covering that play tonight. Now look, Elaine, you run along home.
But I have to know what's happened. Certainly you can tell me.
No, I can't.
Well, if we're going to be married...
Married?
Have you forgotten that not 15 minutes ago you proposed to me?
I did? Yes. Well, as far as I know, that's still on. Run along home.
Listen, you cannot propose to me 1 minute and then throw me out of the house the next.
I'm not throwing you out of the house, darling. Now, will you please leave?
No, I will not. Not until I've had some kind of explanation.
Oh, wait, no. Hello, Al? Yes, Al, it's important, but can it wait a minute? Oh, it's very important, but Al, it can wait a minute, can it? All right, hold on. Now, look, Elaine, you're a very sweet girl, and I love you, but something's come up, and I'll call you up tomorrow.
Don't try to be masterful.
Now, Elaine, when we're married, and I have problems to face, I hope you're a little less tedious and uninspired.
And when we're married, if we're married, I hope I find you adequate.
Elaine! Hello, Al? Hello? Hello, Al? Hello?
That's the doorbell, dear, not the telephone. Oh,
I understand you have a room for rent?
Step right in.
Are you the lady of the house?
I am. I'm Miss Brewster, and this is my sister, another Miss Brewster.
Well, my name is Gibbs.
Oh, won't you sit down? I'm sorry, we were just setting the table for dinner, Mr. Gibbs.
Hello, Al? City desk? Hello, Al! City! Oh, I'm sorry. Wrong number.
May I see the room?
Well, why don't you sit down for a minute and let's get acquainted.
It won't do much good if I can't see the room.
Is Brooklyn your home?
I haven't got a home. I live in a hotel, don't like it.
Hello, city desk?
Are your family Brooklyn people?
Haven't got a family.
All alone in the world?
Yeah.
Where? Martha? Well, you come to just the right house, Mr. Gibbs. Do sit down.
Hello, Mort? Hello, Al? It's me, Mort, sorry. Look, we got cut off, but I can't come to play tonight, and that's all there is to it. I can't.
Won't you try a little bit of our wine before you step her up and look at our room?
Never touch it.
Oh, we make this ourselves. It's elderberry wine.
Elderberry wine. I haven't had that since I was a boy.
Look, Al, there's got to be someone in the office. How about the office boy? You know, the bright one? The one we all don't like? You go look for him, I'll hold.
What church do you...
There always this much noise.
Oh, he doesn't live here with us.
No.
What church do you go to? There's an Episcopal church practically next door.
I'm Presbyterian, or at least used to be.
What's George doing in Bermuda? Well, certainly I told him he can go to Bermuda. It's my department, isn't it? Look, Al, there's got to be somebody there. How about the printers? The guy that says my copies. Joe, third from the left.
I'd really like to see the room.
Yes, later. Why don't you try our glass of wine first?
But Al, he might be the next Burns Mantle.
Do you have your own elderberry bushes?
No, but the cemetery is full of them.
No, I haven't been drinking, but I'm going to start.
You serve deals.
We might, but have some wine first.
Mortimer,
No, not that, Mortimer, not that.
What are you doing? Don't be drinking, then you're going to die. They're going to kill you. They're going to put you in a cellar. The cellar's Panama. I don't know what's happening in this house. You just got to leave.
Oh, now you've ruined everything.
Can I make you guys realize that not only is this illegal, it's wrong. It's not a good thing to do. People wouldn't understand. He wouldn't understand.
he should have never told Mortimer.
What I'm saying is this has developed into a very bad habit.
Mortimer, we don't try to stop you from doing the things you like to do, and I don't think you should try to stop us.
Hello, Al? All right, I'll cover the play. I'll see the first act and pan the hell out of it. But look, Al, you gotta do something for me. Get a hold of O'Brien, head of our legal department. Tell him to meet me at the theater. It's very important, Al. All right. Look, aunties, I've got to go to the theater. I can't get out of it. But before I go, will you promise me one thing?
We would have to know what it is first.
I love you very much, and I know that you love me. And I would do anything in the world for you. All I want you to do is just this one little thing for me.
What do you want us to do?
Don't do anything. I mean, don't do anything. Don't leave this house, and just leave Mr. Hoskins where he is.
Why?
I need some time to think, and I've got quite a little to think about. Will you do this for me?
Well, weren't we going to have services?
Services?
Oh, yes. Well, you don't think we'd bury Mr. Hoskins without full Methodist service, do you? I mean, he is a Methodist.
Can't that wait till I get back?
Oh, well, then you would join us?
Yes, yes.
Mortimer, you'll really love the services, especially the hymns. Remember how beautifully Mortimer sang in the choir before his voice changed?
You'll do this for me now, you promise.
Well, I think that since Mortimer is cooperating with us, Martha, we can do this one little thing. All right, Mortimer, all right, we will.
All right. Have you got some paper?
I do, I have some stationery, will that do?
Yes.
All right.
That'll be
Here you
fine. I can save time if I write my review on the way to the theater.
Well, Mortimer didn't seem quite himself today.
Well, I think I know why.
Why?
Well, he's just become engaged to be married. Oh, I should think that would make any man nervous.
Well, I'm so happy for Elaine. And their honeymoon ought to give Mortimer a real vacation.
Yes,
I don't think he got much rest this summer.
I don't think so either. But at least he didn't go kiting off to Spain or China.
I never understood why he wanted to go away to those places.
Well, I think for Mortimer, the theater always seems pretty small potatoes. I think he needs something big to criticize, like the human race.
Abby,
Yes.
if Mortimer is coming back later for the services,
Yes.
we're going to need another hymnal.
That's right.
There's one in my room.
Okay. Well, Martha, you know, it is my turn to read for the services, but since you weren't here when Mr. Hoskins came, I want you to do it.
Oh, Abby, that's so nice, but are you sure you want me to?
It's only fair.
Oh, well, I think I'll wear my black bombazine and Mother's old brooch.
Oh, I'll get it. I'll get it.
Remember,
Who could that be?
we promised Mortimer we wouldn't let anybody in.
Oh, yes.
Well, let me take a look.
Okay.
It's two people.
Are you,
I don't recognize them.
are you sure?
There's a car at the curb.
Let
They
me
must
look.
have come in that.
Let me look.
Do you recognize them?
They're strangers to me.
We must pretend we're not at home.
Come in, Doctor. This is the house of my youth. I spent so many years as a child trying to escape it, but now I'm glad to escape back into it.
It's a fine hideout, Shawnee.
The family must still live here. There's something so unmistakably Brewster about the Brewsters. Although I do hope they have a fatted calf awaiting the return of the prodigal.
Yeah, I'm hungry. Look, Shawnee, drinks!
As though we were expected. A good omen.
Who are you? And what are you doing here? Oh,
Aunt Abby, Aunt Martha. It's me, Joan.
You get out of here!
But it's Joan. Your niece? Joan?
you're not our niece, Joan, and don't you pretend you are.
I am Joan, and this is Dr. Einstein.
And he's not Dr. Einstein either.
Not Dr. Albert Einstein, Dr. Herman Einstein.
You are not our niece, Joan, and you just get out of here.
Still wearing the garnet ring that Grandma Brewster brought back from London, are we? Oh, and Aunt Martha. Still with the high collar to hide the scars where Grandfather's acid burned you.
The voice is like Joan's.
Well, Joan, have you been in an accident?
No. This is Dr. Einstein's work. He's a plastic surgeon. He changes people's faces.
Abby, I've seen that face before. Do you remember when we took the Schultz boy to the movies and I was so frightened?
Easy,
It was that face!
easy, Shawnee, easy. Don't worry, ladies. The last 5 years, I give her 3 new faces, and I give her another one right away. But this face, I saw that picture too. And just before I operate, and I was intoxicated.
Do you see, Doctor? Do you see what you've done to me, even my own family?
Shawnee, your home, this beautiful home. How many times she told me about Brooklyn and this house and her aunt she loves so much.
No, it's you, Joni. You know it's Joni. Speak to her. Tell her so.
Well, Joan, what have you been doing all these years?
Where have you been, Joan?
Oh, South Africa, London, Australia. Oh, the last 3 years I was in Chicago with Dr. Einstein. We were in business together.
Oh, nice. We went to Chicago once. Remember, Mother? We went to the World's Fair.
Oh, yes. We found Chicago awfully warm. Yes.
Yeah, it got hot for us too.
Well, it's wonderful to be back in Brooklyn now. And you, and Abby, and Martha, still the same as I remember you. Still charming and kind and hospitable. Oh, and Teddy, little Teddy. Tell me, did he go into politics? My brother, Doctor. He so wanted to be the president.
Teddy's fine. Teddy's just fine. And Mortimer's fine, too.
Yes, I know about Mortimer. I've seen his face at the head of his column. He very clearly has fulfilled his earlier nasty nature.
We're very fond of Mortimer.
Well, Joan, it was nice seeing you
Thank
again.
you, Aunt Martha. It's wonderful to be home.
Well, Mother, we mustn't let what's on the stove boil over. Right? Come along. Come along, Mother. Come along.
Yes, you'll excuse us for a minute, unless there's someplace you need to go.
Honey, where do we go from here? We gotta think fast. The police have the pictures of that face. I gotta operate on you right away. We gotta find a place for that, and we gotta find a place for Mr. Spinalzo.
Don't worry about that rat.
But we got a hot stiff on our hands.
I said don't worry about Mr. Spinalzo.
Shawnee, you shouldn't have killed him. He was a nice fellow. He gave us a lift, and what happens?
He said I looked like the bride of Frankenstein. That's your word, Doctor. You've done this to me.
We find a place somewhere, and I fix you up quick.
Tonight.
Tonight, I got to eat something. I'm hungry. I'm weak.
Well, Joan, we're glad that you remembered to stop by and say hello. But you were never happy when you were here, and we were certainly not happy when you were here either. So we've just stopped in to say goodbye. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Oh. Aunt Abby, I can't say that your feelings towards me come as a great surprise. I've spent so many hours regretting the heartache I must have given you as a young girl.
Well, you were quite a trial to us, Joan.
But my great disappointment is for Dr. Einstein. I promised him that no matter how rushed we would stop in Brooklyn for one of Aunt Martha's home-cooked meals.
Oh.
Well, there won't be enough.
Well, it's a pretty good-sized pot roast.
Pot roast!
Well, the least we can do is...
Thank you, Aunt Martha. We'll stay for dinner.
Yeah. Well, all right then. We'll just get it started since we're all in a big hurry. Joan, if you'd like to freshen up before dinner, you can use the washroom in Grandfather's laboratory.
Is that still here?
Yes, it's just as he left it. I'll get along now. Get that thing hurrying along.
Well, to get a meal anyway.
Grandfather's laboratory. And just as he left it, picture it, Doctor, a perfect operating room.
Too bad we can't use it.
Oh, and that attic ward with 10 beds. Oh, we'll make a fortune here. Brooklyn is just crying out for your house.
Why work yourself up, Shawnee? For Brooklyn, you're too late.
Nonsense. You don't know this town, Doctor. Practically everyone in Brooklyn needs a new face.
Oh, all the old faces, they're locked up.
A small percentage, and the boys in Brooklyn are well known for paying to stay out of jail.
But your aunts, they don't want us here.
We're here for dinner, aren't we?
Yeah, but after dinner...
You leave it to me. This place will be our headquarters for years.
Oh, that would be beautiful, this nice house. And those aunts of yours, oh, such sweet ladies. I love them already. Shall we go get the bags?
Doctor, we must wait to be invited.
But you just said.
We'll be invited.
And if they say no?
Doctor, two helpless old biddies.
Well, that's just like a come true dream. Boy, I hope you're not dreaming. It's so peaceful.
And that's why this place is perfect for us. It's so peaceful. Yes, aunties, I have to say, those 3 years in Chicago were probably the happiest and busiest of my life.
And after Chicago, we go to South Bend, Indiana.
They wouldn't be interested in our stay in Indiana.
Well, Joan, it sounds like you've had a very interesting life. And
then, as I say, my meeting Dr. Einstein probably changed the whole course of my life. You see, I was in South Africa in the diamond business, and then I went to London to the diamond market, and, well, I wanted to go back to South Africa again. Dr. Einstein made that possible for me.
Yeah, that was a good job. We took the bandages off. She looked so different. The nurse had to introduce us.
I love that face. You know, I still keep a picture of it with me.
oh, well, you do look a little bit more like how we remember you, but still, I wouldn't recognize you.
You know, I think we'll go back to that face, Doctor.
Oh yeah, that's safe now.
Well, Joan, we shouldn't have kept you, and I'm sure you've got somewhere you want to get along to.
Oh no, aunties. We're so full of that wonderful mail. We couldn't move a muscle.
Yeah, it's nice here.
Well, after all, it's getting late,
I
and
found it! I found it!
What did you find, Teddy?
The story of my life! My biography! Here's the picture I was telling you about, General. Here we are, the two of us. President Roosevelt, General Goldberg, at Caliber Cup. That's me, General, and that's you.
I have changed.
Well, you see, that picture hasn't even been taken yet. We haven't even started the work on Caliber Cut. We are still digging lots. And now, General, we go to Panama and inspect the new lock.
No, Teddy, not Panama.
You know, that's a long way off. We'd go some other time.
Nonsense! It's just down in the cellar.
The cellar?
yes, so we let Teddy take the Panama Canal in the cellar.
General Gold, as President of the United States, Commander-in-Chief of the Army and Navy, and the man who gave you this job, I demand you accompany me to inspect the new lot.
Teddy! I think it's time you went to bed.
Beg your pardon? Who are you?
I'm Woodrow Wilson. Now go to bed.
No, you're not Wilson.
Oh.
But perhaps you're somebody I haven't met yet. Or have met. I'm not sure. Ah, that's it. Maybe on my trip to Africa. Yes, you do look like someone I'd meet in the jungle.
Teddy, this is your sister Joan.
She's had her face changed.
That's it? A nature faker.
Teddy, why don't you get up to bed, darling? And Joan and her friend here have got to get back to their hotel.
General Goggles, inspect the canal.
Oh, all right, Mr. President. We go to Panama.
Bully! Just bully! Follow me, General. Down south, you know.
Well, bon voyage.
And I must correct your misapprehension. You spoke of our hotel. There is no hotel. We came directly here.
Well, there's a nice little hotel
And
just 3
Martha,
blocks
this is my home.
Down. No, Joan, you can't stay here. We need our rooms.
You need them?
Yes, for our lodgers.
There are lodgers in this house?
Well, not right now, but we plan to
Well,
have
then my
some.
room is still available.
But there won't be any room for Dr. Einstein.
He'll room with me.
Well, I don't think you should stay here, Joan. We need our rooms for our lodgers.
I'm Tabby. Dr. Einstein and I need a place to stay. You did recall earlier that I could be quite disagreeable as a child. I don't think it would be pleasant for any of us.
Perhaps we should let them stay here tonight.
Well, for tonight.
That's all settled then. Why don't you get the rooms ready?
It only needs airing out.
That's because we keep them ready for our lodgers. I think you and Dr. Einstein will find it quite comfortable.
Oh, I do hope so. You have quite a distinguished guest in Dr. Einstein. You don't appreciate his talents yet, but you will. In a few weeks, you'll see me looking quite a different Joni.
He can't operate on you here.
And then after he's done with me, once we resume business, oh, I forgot to tell you, we're turning Grandfather's laboratory into an operating room. We expect to be quite busy.
Joan, you can't turn this house into a hospital.
A hospital, no. Think of it more as a beauty parlor.
Johnny, down this way.
Dr. Einstein, good news. My aunts have invited us to stay.
Oh, you fixed it.
For tonight.
Get the rooms ready immediately.
Well, what do you...
Johnny, you know what I find down in the cellar?
What?
The Panama Canal.
The Panama Canal.
It just fits Mr. Spinoza. It's a hole that Teddy dug. It's 6 feet long by 4 feet wide.
You mean down there?
Yeah. It's like they knew that we were bringing Mr. Spinoza along. That's hospitality.
Oh, that'll be a good joke on my aunts. Living in a house with a body buried in the cellar.
How do we get him in?
Oh, we can't him in the front door. We'll bring the car up behind the house. And then, once they've all gone to bed, we'll bring Mr. Spinalzo in through the window. And you, keep that flask in your pocket. You have to operate tomorrow, and you'd better be sober. Oh,
I
and
make you
if
beautiful.
you don't.
Joan, your room's ready.
Oh, well then you and Aunt Martha can go to bed. We're bringing the car up behind the house.
Well, the car is fine right where it is until morning.
I wouldn't want to leave it out on the street. That might be illegal.
Abby, what are we going to do?
Well, for one thing, we're not gonna let them stay more than one night. What would the neighbors think? With people coming in here with one face and leaving with another.
What are we going to do about Mr. Hoskins?
Oh, Mr. Hoskins, that's right. It can't be very comfortable for him in there. And he's been so patient. We should get Teddy to bring him right downstairs right away.
Abby, I will not invite Joan to the funeral services.
No. We'll wait until they've gone to bed, and then we'll come back down and hold services.
General Goebbels has inspected the canal and says it's just the right size.
Well, Teddy, there's been another yellow fever victim.
Dear me, this will be a shock to the general.
Well, then we mustn't tell him.
But it's his department.
No, Teddy, we mustn't tell him. It would just ruin his visit anyway.
I'm sorry, Aunt Abby. It is out of my hands. He must be told. Army regulations.
No, Teddy, we must keep it a secret.
Yes.
A state secret.
The state's.
Yes, a state secret.
Promise?
You have the word of the President of the United States. Cross my heart, hope to die. Now let's see. How are we going to keep this a secret?
Well, let's see. You go back downstairs, and when I turn out the light, when it's all dark, you come back up and get the poor fellow and bring him down to Panama. All right? Now go along, Teddy. Go on.
And we'll be down later to hold services.
You may announce that the President will have a few words to say at the service. Where is the poor devil?
He's in the window seat.
Seems to be spreading. We've never had yellow fever there before.
Well, by the time Joan and Dr. Einstein go to sleep, we can come back down and hold service.
Yes, by the time they're asleep, we will be all dressed
Yes,
and ready for services.
right.
Abby,
Yes.
you didn't see Mr. Hoskins.
What? You were out. He's actually pretty good looking for a Methodist. Come on over here and I'll show it to you. Oh!
We're bringing the luggage in through here.
Well, Joan, your room is ready. You can go right up.
Oh, I'm afraid we don't keep Brooklyn hours. But you and Aunt Martha feel free to go to bed.
Well, you must be very tired by now, and we certainly don't go to bed this early.
Oh, but you should. You really need someone here to be taking care of you.
Well, but we weren't planning on going until...
Did you hear me, Aunt Martha? I said go to bed.
Okay.
The instrument case can go to the laboratory in the morning. Take those upstairs. Now, we are all going to bed. One more flight, Doctor.
I'll wait until you've gone up, and then I'll turn the lights off.
Run along, Aunt Martha. Come along, Aunt Abby.
I'll be right up.
Now, Aunt Abby, turn off the lights.
Getting right up. Here I go. All dark.
Okay, Jody.
I will go open the window and then you go around and shove him through.
No, he's too heavy for me. You go out and push, and I pull. And together we get him to Panama.
Fine. Now, when I knock on the window, you open it. Can you handle that?
Yeah, all right. Who left that open? Dumb cough. Johnny, okay. Alley-oop. Oh, wait, I lost a leg somewhere. Okay, I got him. Hey, Johnny, I slipped.
Well, be more careful.
Gully shoe came off.
You got him.
Okay, I got him. Johnny, somebody's at the door. Go quick.
Yeah.
No, I manage. Go quick.
Teddy? Who are you?
Who are you?
I'm Elaine Harper. I live next door.
Then what are you doing here?
I came over to see Miss Abby and Miss Martha.
Doctor, turn on the lights. You chose a rather inconvenient moment for a social call.
I think you'd better explain what you're doing here.
We happen to live here.
You don't live here. I'm in this house every day and I've never seen you before. Where are Miss Abby and Miss Martha? What have you done to them?
Perhaps we'd better introduce ourselves. This is Dr. Einstein.
Dr. Einstein?
Yes, he is a surgeon of great distinction and something of a magician.
And I suppose you're going to tell me that you're the bride of...
I am Brewster.
Oh, you're Joan.
I see you've heard of me.
Yes, just this afternoon for the first time.
And what do they say about me?
Just that there's another sibling named Joan. That's all that was said. Well, that explains everything. Now that I know who you are, I'll just be running along home now. If you'll kindly unlock the door.
That explains everything. What exactly did you mean by that? What are you doing here at this time of night?
I thought I saw someone prowling around the house. I suppose that was you?
You saw someone prowling around the house.
Yes, weren't you outside? Isn't that your car?
You saw someone at the car.
Yes,
What did you see?
just someone walking around the house to the car.
What did you see?
Just that, that's all. That's why I came over here. I was going to tell Miss Abby to call the police, but if that was you and that's your car, then I don't need to bother Miss Abby and I'll just be running along home.
What was that person doing at the car?
I don't know, you see, I was on my way over here.
I think you're lying.
I think she's telling the truth. We let her go, huh, Johnny?
I think she's lying, breaking into a house at this time of night. I think she's dangerous. She shouldn't be allowed around loose.
Take your hands off of me!
Doctor?
It's going to be a private funeral.
Teddy! Teddy! Tell these people who I am!
That's my daughter, Alice.
Teddy!
George!
Teddy! Teddy!
Doctor, your handkerchief.
To the cellar! The cellar! Get in there!
Don't turn up the lights. Don't turn up the lights.
Keep an eye on her.
Okay, okay. What's happening? What's going on down there?
What's the matter?
What's happening?
We caught a burglar. A sneak thief. It's nothing. Go back to bed.
We'll call the police. Yes.
We've called the police. We'll handle this. Go back to bed. Do you hear me? Don't answer the
Okay, the door.
Mortimer! Where have you been?
To the Nora Bay's Theater. I should have known better. My God, I'm still there.
Your sister Joan. She's had her face changed.
I know this isn't a nightmare, but what is this?
I've come home, Mortimer.
What did you say this was? It's Joan. Your sister. She's had an operation on her face by Dr. Einstein.
Joan, dear Joan, you always were a whore, but did you have to look like one?
Mortimer, have you forgotten what I used to do to you when we were children in this house? You, tied to the bedpost with those wonderful needles beneath your nails.
God, it is Joan. Yes. Yes, I remember you were the most detestable, venomous, vicious form of animal
Now, you
life.
two have to stop fighting just the minute you see each other.
There won't be any fight, Aunt Abby. Joan, you're not welcome here. Get out.
Dr. Einstein and I have been invited to stay.
Not in this house.
Well, just for tonight.
All right, tonight. But first thing in the morning, out. Where did you say they were sleeping?
Up in Joan's old room.
But that's my room. I'm sleeping there. I'm here to stay.
Oh, Mortimer, we're so relieved.
Johnny, we sleep down here. You sleep on the sofa, and I sleep on the window seat.
The window seat. Well, let's not fight about it. The window seat's good enough for me tonight. I'll sleep on the window seat.
Johnny, all this argument, it reminds me of Mr. Spalonzo.
Spinoza! Well, there's no need to inconvenience you. We'll sleep down here tonight.
Joan, your sudden consideration for me is very unconvincing.
I go up and get the bags and bring them down, okay?
Don't bother, Doctor.
Doctor, you know, I've quite lost track of Mr. Spinalzo.
Who's Mr. Spinalzo?
Oh, he's a friend of ours that Johnny's been looking for.
Don't bring anyone else in here.
Come on, Johnny, while we pack. It'll be all right. I'll tell you all about it.
Mortimer, you don't have to sleep down here. I'll move in with Martha and you can have my room.
Oh, it's no bother, Aunt Abby. We'll be just a moment and then you can have the room, Mortimer.
Let's not argue about it. I told you I'm sleeping down here.
Mortimer!
What's the matter with you, dear?
I've almost been killed!
You've almost been...
Abby, Martha!
Oh, it was Joan! She mistook her for a sneak thief.
It's more than that. She's some kind of maniac. Mortimer, I'm afraid of her.
You're trembling. Have you got any smelling salts?
Well, how about some hot tea or coffee?
Coffee, yes, and make some for me too. And a sandwich. I haven't had anything to eat.
Oh, we'll make something for the both of you. Yes.
Martha, we can leave our hats on down here.
You weren't going somewhere, were you? You do know what time it is. It's after 12. 12! Elaine, you've got to go home.
What?
Why? We were just going to make some sandwiches for you. It won't take a minute.
Yes, and don't you remember we wanted to celebrate your engagement? And we'll make a nice dinner with the both of you. That's what we'll do, and we'll open a bottle of wine.
Fine. No wine.
Mortimer, what is going on in this house?
What do you mean, what's going on in this house?
You were supposed to take me to dinner and the theater tonight. You called it off. You asked me to marry you. I told you I would, and then 5 minutes later, you threw me out of the house. Then tonight, just after your sister tried to strangle me, you're trying to chase me home. Now listen, Mr. Brewster. Before I go home, I want to know where I stand. Do you love me?
I love you very much, dear. In fact, I love you so much, I can't marry you.
Have you suddenly gone crazy?
No, but it's just a matter of time. You see, insanity runs in my family. It practically gallops. That's why I can't marry you, darling.
Now wait a minute, you've got to do better than that.
No, you see, there's a strange taint in the Brewster blood. If you knew it, well, it's as if Strindberg had written Hell's a Poppin'.
Now just because Teddy is a little bit...
No, it goes way back. All the way back to the first Brewster, the one that came over the Mayflower. You know how the Indians used to scout the settlers? He used to scout the Indians.
Mortimer, that is ancient history.
No, the whole family. Take my grandfather. He used to try his patent medicines out on dead people to be sure it wouldn't kill them.
Well, he wasn't so crazy. He made $1 million.
And then there's Joan. You said it yourself. She's a maniac. She tried to kill you.
But she's your sister, not you. I'm in love with you.
And there's Teddy. You know Teddy. He thinks he's Roosevelt. No Brewster should marry. And I realized that if I met my father in time, I would have stopped him.
Well, all this doesn't prove that you're crazy. Take your aunts, for instance. They're Brewsters, aren't they? And the sanest, sweetest people I've ever known.
Well, even they have their peculiarities.
Yes, but what lovely peculiarities. Kindness, generosity, human sympathy.
There's another one.
Always going to be others. You can't tell me anything about your aunts.
No, I won't. Look here, something very important has come up.
Up from where? We're here alone together.
I know I'm acting irrationally, but just chalk it up to the fact that I'm a mad Brewster. Now, Elaine,
Listen, if you think you're going to get out of this by pretending you're crazy, you're insane! Maybe you're not going to marry me, but I'm going to marry you. I love you, you dope.
well, if you love me, won't you get the hell out of here?
At least walk me home, Mortimer, I'm afraid.
Afraid? I will walk through a cemetery.
Mortimer, will you kiss me goodnight?
Sure, darling. I'll call you up first thing tomorrow.
You critic!
Aunt Abby, Aunt Martha, come in here.
We'll be right in, dear.
Come in here now.
Yes, dear, what is it?
I thought you promised not to let anyone in this house while I was gone.
Well, Joan just walked right
I don't
in
mean
the
Joan.
door, and Dr. Einstein was
I
with
don't mean
her.
Dr. Einstein. Who's that in the window seat?
I told you, it's Mr. Hoskins.
This is not Mr. Hoskins.
Well, who can that be?
Are you trying to tell me you've never seen this man before?
I certainly am. Why, this is a fine how do you do. It's getting so anybody thinks they can just walk in this house.
Aunt Abby, don't you try to get out of this. This is another one of your gentlemen.
It most certainly is not. That man is an imposter. He has come here to be buried in our cellar. Why, he's mistaken.
Aunt Abby, you admitted to me that you put Mr. Hoskins in there.
Yes, I did.
Well, he certainly couldn't have got the idea from Mr. Hoskins. By the way, where is Mr. Hoskins?
He must have gone to Panama.
Oh, so you buried him.
No, not yet. We haven't had time, what with Joan and Dr. Einstein in the house. And we've always wanted to have a double funeral. But I will not hold services over a total stranger.
Now, Aunt Abby, how can I believe you? There are 12 gentlemen in your cellar, and you admit to poisoning them.
Yes, I did. But you don't think I would stoop to telling a fib, do you? Mother!
Mortimer, I need a word with you.
Well, words about all I have time for, Joan, because I've decided that you and your doctor friend are getting out of here just as soon as possible.
Oh, I'm glad that you realize that you and I cannot live under the same roof. But you've come to the wrong conclusion. Pack your bag and get out.
Joan, you're beginning to bore me. You played your one-night stand in Brooklyn. Move on.
Mortimer, just because you've moved from the back fence to the typewriter, don't think that you've grown up. I'm staying, and you're leaving. I mean now.
If you think I can be frightened, if you think I have anything to fear,
I've lived a very strange life, Mortimer, and it's taught me one thing, to fear nothing.
Mother! Just look right in that window seat.
Aunt Abby!
Joan, won't you let Aunt Abby see what's in the window seat? I owe you an apology. Joan is leaving and taking her doctor and their cold companion with them. Joan, you're my sister. You're a Brewster. You're family. That's why I'm going to give you a chance to get out of here and take the evidence with you. You can't ask for more than that. Fine. I guess I'll have to call the police.
Don't touch that telephone. Do you think you can threaten me after seeing what's happened to Mr. Spinalzo?
Spinalzo?
I knew he was a foreigner.
Yes. And remember, what happened to Mr. Spinalzo can happen to you too.
Oh, I'll get it. I'll get it.
This is
Oh, Officer O'Hara!
Hello, Miss Abby.
Oh, come in. How are you?
I saw your lights on. I thought there might be sickness in the house. Oh, you got company. I'm sorry to disturb you.
No, come in.
Yes, do come in. Yes. Come on in, Officer O'Hara. This is our nephew, Mortimer.
Pleased to meet you.
And this is our niece, Joan.
Pleased to make your acquaintance.
And
Well, it must be nice having your family visiting you. Are they going to be staying with you for a bit?
I'm staying. My sister Joan is just leaving.
I've met you here before, haven't I?
I don't think so. Joan hasn't been here for many years.
Your face looks familiar to me. Maybe I've seen a picture of you somewheres.
I don't think so.
Yes, Joan, I'd get going if I were you. Your things are all packed, aren't they?
Well, if you wanted to say goodbyes, I'll just be running along.
What's the rush? Can't you stay until my sister leaves?
I just wanted to make sure everything was all right.
Why don't you join us for a cup of coffee? We're just about to have some.
Oh, the coffee. I forgot about the coffee.
Oh, and I'll make some extra sandwiches. I ought to know your appetite by now, Officer O'Hara.
Don't bother. I'm due to ring in a few minutes.
Just a cup of coffee. My sister will be gone soon. Do sit down.
Say, ain't I seen a photograph of your sister somewhere?
I don't think so.
Her face certainly looks familiar to me.
She looks like someone you might have seen in the movies.
I never go to the movies. I hate them. My mother says the movies is a bastard art.
Well, it's full of them. Your mother said that?
Yeah, my mother was an actress, a stage actress. Perhaps you heard of her? Peaches Latour?
Sounds like a name I've heard on a program. What'd she play?
Well, her big hit was Mutt and Jack. She played it for 3 years. I was born on tour, the 3rd season.
You were?
Yep, Sioux City, Iowa. I was born in my mother's dressing room in the 2nd act. Mother made the finale.
What a trooper. Your mother must have quite a story in her. You know, I write for the theater.
You do? Say, you're not Mortimer Brewster, the dramatic critic.
Yes, I am.
Well, I certainly am glad to meet you. Say, Mr. Brewster. You and I are in the same line of business.
We are?
Yeah, I'm a playwright. Oh, this being on the police force, this is just temporary.
How long have you been on the force?
12 years. Collecting material for a play.
I bet it's a honey.
Well, it ought to be. With all the drama I see being a cop, Mr. Brewster, you got no idea what goes on in Brooklyn.
I think I have.
Say, what time you got?
10 after 1.
Yeah, I gotta ring in.
I think I may be able to help you with that play of yours.
You would? Say, it was my thing walking in here tonight. Look, I'll tell you the plot. Starts off, dim light.
Everything is just about ready.
Yes, Joan, I'd be going if I were you. You haven't got much time, you know.
Oh, Joan, are you leaving? Are you leaving too, Dr. Einstein? Oh, how nice. Oh, doesn't this belong to you?
Yes, Joan. You can't go without taking everything. O'Hara, my sister is just leaving. We'll catch up soon and talk about that play.
Well, I'm not leaving now, Mr. Brewster.
Why not?
Well, you just offered to write my play with me, didn't you? You and me are gonna write my play together.
Now, look, O'Hara, I'm not a creative writer.
Oh, I'll do the creating. You just put the words to it.
Now, O'Hara.
Oh, no, sir, Mr. Brewster. I ain't leaving this house till I tell you the plot.
We'll just be leaving then.
No, Joan, you can't go without all of your things. Look, O'Hara, my sister's just leaving, and I think you should join her.
I can wait. I've been waiting 12 years.
Oh, I'm sorry I was so long.
Don't bring that in here. Oh, O'Hara, would you like to join us in the kitchen?
The kitchen?
Joan's leaving.
Oh, that's nice. Come along, Officer O'Hara.
Are you sure you don't mind eating in the kitchen?
And where else would you?
Joan, I'm glad you came back, because it gives me a chance to throw you out. And the first one out is your boyfriend, Mr. Spinalzo.
Hey, look, Mr. Brewster, we can talk in here.
Coming right in.
I ought to have known you'd grow up to write a play with a policeman.
Get going, all 3 of you.
This business between my brother and I has got to be settled.
Shawnee, we got trouble enough. Your brother gives us a chance to get away. Come on, let's get going.
You don't understand.
Now,
This
Shawnee.
goes back a great many years.
Now, Shawnee, let's get out of here. Let's get going, huh?
We're staying right here tonight.
With that cop in the kitchen and Mr. Spinalzo in the window seat.
That's all they've got on us. We'll take Spinelzo down and dump him in the bay, and then we'll come back here. And then, if he tries to interfere.
Now, Shawnee.
Doctor, you know when I've made up my mind.
Yeah, when you make up your mind, you lose your head. Brooklyn ain't good for you.
Doctor!
All right, we stick together. Someday we're gonna get stuck together. If we're coming back here, do I need to take these with us?
No. Hide them in the cellar, but be quick. Mr. Spinalzo can go out the same way he came in.
Ronnie,
What now?
come see down in the cellar.
What?
You know that hole that's down there?
Yes?
We got an ace in the hole. Come on.
Joan? Joan? Joni? Joan?
Hello, Mortimer.
What are you doing here? I thought I told you to get out.
Oh, we're not going anywhere.
Oh, you don't think I'm serious about this. You don't think I'll show O'Hara what's in the window seat.
We're staying right here.
All right, this gets rid of you and Officer O'Hara at the same time. Officer O'Hara, come in here.
You tell O'Hara what's in the window seat. I'll tell him what's in the cellar.
The cellar?
Oh, yes. We found an elderly gentleman down there who is quite dead.
What were you doing down in the cellar?
What is he doing in the cellar? No thanks, ma'am. I've had plenty. Thank you.
So, what were you telling Officer O'Hara?
Say, Mr. Brewster, your aunts want to hear it too. Shall I get him in here?
No, O'Hara, look, you got to ring in.
The hell with bringing in. I'll just get your aunts in here and I'll tell you all the plot.
No, not here. We'll get together alone someplace later.
How about the back room at Kelly's?
That's fine. I'll go to Kelly's, but you have to ring in first.
Why don't you take him down to the cellar?
Sure, I don't mind. Is this the cellar?
No, I'll go to Kelly's with you right now, but you've got to ring in first.
All right. It'll only take 5 minutes.
I'll be back in 5 minutes, and when I come back, I expect to find you gone. No, wait here.
Oh, we'll wait for him, Doctor. I've waited a great many years for an opportunity like this.
We've got him right where we want him. He looked guilty.
Doctor, take our bags back upstairs.
Have they left? Oh, we've always heard somebody leaving.
Oh, that was Mortimer. He'll be back in a few minutes. Tell me, is there anything left to eat in the kitchen? I think Dr. Einstein and I are ready for another bite.
But you won't have time.
No, if you're still here when Mortimer gets back, he won't like it.
Oh, he'll like it. He's gotta like it.
Make us something to eat while we bury Mr. Spinalzo in the cellar.
Oh, no!
Joe, you can't bury Mr. Spinalzo in our cellar.
Oh, don't worry about it. There's a friend of Mortimer's down there waiting for him.
A friend of Mortimer's?
Oh, yes. They'll get along quite well. They're both dead.
Oh, they must mean Mr. Hoskins.
Mr. Hoskins?
You know what's down in the cellar?
Of course we do. And he's no friend of Mortimer's, he's one of our gentlemen.
Your gentleman?
Yes, and we won't have any strangers buried in our cellar.
Besides,
But
there's
Mr.
no
Hoskins-
Mr. Hoskins is no stranger.
No, and besides, there's no room in our cellar. There are 12 graves in our cellar.
12 graves? You mean... You and Aunt Martha have murdered?
No, certainly not. It's one of our charities.
Why, what we've been doing is a mercy.
You've done that in this house. And you buried them down there.
Johnny, we've been chased all over the world. And they stay right here in Brooklyn. And they do just as good as you do. They got 12, and you got 12.
I have 13.
Oh no, you got 12.
13! There's Mr. Spinazzo. There's the first one in London. There's the two in Amsterdam. There's the one in Sydney. There's the one in Melbourne. There's the two in that bizarrely named place out in the middle of the woods. Wrangling. After that, there was that one gentleman in Phoenix.
Phoenix?
The filling station. Then there were the three in Chicago and the one in South Bend. That makes 13.
Oh, the one in South Bend doesn't count. He died of pneumonia.
He wouldn't have got pneumonia if I hadn't have shot him.
No. He don't count. He died of pneumonia. He don't count.
He counts with me. I say 13.
No, you got 12, and they got 12. The old ladies are just as good as you are.
Oh, they are they? Well, that's easily remedied, isn't it? I just need one more. One more. That's it. Just one more.
Well, here I am.
You stop doing that!
This is our house, Marcel, and you can't do that.
Ladies, please go upstairs where you belong.
Abby, Martha, get upstairs now.
There's no use! You're doing what you're doing because it will just have to be undone!
I tell you, we won't have it, and you better stop it right now.
All right, you'll find out. You'll find out whose house this is.
I'm warning you. I'm warning you. You better stop it right now. Hasn't Mortimer come back yet?
No.
It's a terrible thing to drink. Very good Methodist with a foreigner.
I will not have our cellar desecrated.
Where do you think Mortimer is?
Well, I don't know. But he must be doing something. Because before he left, he said to Joan, "Just you wait. I'll settle this."
Well, he can't very well settle anything when he's not in the house. And that's all we really want settled is what's going on down there.
All right, where's Teddy?
Mortimer, where have you been?
Over to Dr. Keel's to get his signature on Teddy's commitment papers.
Mortimer, what is the matter with you?
Running around getting papers signed at a time like this?
Do you know what Joan is doing?
He's putting Mr. Spinazzo and Mr. Hoskins together!
Oh, she is she?
Yes!
Well, let her. Is Teddy up in his room?
Teddy can't be any help.
Once he signs his commitment papers, I'll tackle Joan.
What has Teddy got to do with anything?
You had to tell Joan about the 12 graves in the cellar. If I can make Teddy responsible for all this, I can protect you two, don't you see?
No, I don't see. And we pay taxes to have the police protect us.
I'll be back in a minute.
Come along, Martha, we're going for the police.
All right, fine. The police? You can't go for the police.
Well, if you're not going to go and do something about Mr. Spinazzo, we are.
If you tell the police about Mr. Spinazzo, they'll have to find Mr. Hoskins. And that might make them a little curious, and then they'll find the other 12 gentlemen in the cellar.
I don't think that the police would bother with our personal affairs if we asked them not to.
Well, if they found the other 12 gentlemen, they might have to report you to headquarters.
Oh, I don't think they'd bother with that.
No.
They'd have to write out a very long report. And if there's one thing a law enforcement officer hates to do, it's to write.
You can't depend on that. It might leak out, and you can't expect the judge and jury to understand.
Oh, Judge Hollywood.
Yep, we know him very well.
He always comes to church to pray, just before election.
He's coming over here for tea someday. He promised.
Oh, Abby, we really must speak to him about that. His wife died a few years ago, and it's left him very lonely.
Come along, Martha.
No, you can't. I won't let you. You can't leave this house, and you can't have Judge Coleman to tea.
Well, if you're not going to do something about Mr. Spinalzo, we are.
I am going to do something. We may have to call the police in later, but if we do, I want to be ready for them.
You have got to get Joan out of this house.
And Mr. Spinalzo, too.
Would you please let me do this my own way? I've got to see Teddy.
Mortimer, if they're not out of here by morning, we're going for the police.
They'll be out of here by the morning, I promise. Now, will you please go to bed? And for God's sakes, get out of those clothes. You look like Judith Anderson.
Well, Abby, that's a relief, isn't it?
I suppose. If Mortimer's really going to do something about it, you know what that means. It just means that Joan is going to a lot of trouble for nothing. We'd better tell her. Oh, Joan, you might as well stop doing what you're doing because it's going to have to be undone.
It's already done. Did I hear Mortimer up here?
Well, you'll just have to undo it. Mortimer's coming back, and he said you'll be out of this house, all three of you, by morning. He promised.
Oh, he did. Well, then you and Aunt Martha can run along and have a pleasant night's sleep.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Come, Abby.
Good night, Auntie.
Not good night, Joan. Goodbye. You will be out of this house by morning. Mortimer promised.
And he has a way of doing it, too.
Oh, well then he's back, is he?
Yes, he's up here with Teddy.
Goodbye, Joan.
Goodbye, Joan.
Perhaps you should say goodbye to Mortimer while you're up there.
Oh, you'll see Mortimer.
Yes, I'll see Mortimer.
Come along, Martha.
Well, that's all fixed. Smooth as a lake. You'll never know anybody was down there. Oh, I can feel that bed already. 48 hours and we haven't had any sleep. Come on, Johnny, let's go up.
You're forgetting something, Doctor.
What?
My brother, Mortimer.
Johnny, tonight? We do that tomorrow, some other day.
No! Tonight!
Johnny! I'm tired and tomorrow I got to operate.
Oh, you're operating tomorrow, but tonight we take care of Mortimer.
Please, Johnny! Let me go to bed! Johnny! I need to go to bed!
Look at me, Doctor. Look at me. You can see it's got to be done, can't you?
Yeah, I can see. I know that look.
It's a bit late for us to be dissolving our partnership.
Okay, we do it. But we do it the quick way. That quick twist like in London.
No, I think that this calls for something special. I think perhaps
The Melbourne method.
No, Johnny, not that, not the Melbourne. 2 hours. And when we got to the end of it, what? The fellow in London was just as dead as the fellow in Melbourne.
We had to work too fast in London. There was no aesthetic satisfaction. But the Melbourne method. Now there was something to remember.
Remember? Oh, I wish I could forget. Not that, Johnny. Not Melbourne, not me.
Yes, Doctor, where are your instruments?
I won't do it, Johnny, I won't do it.
Get your instruments.
No, Johnny.
Where are they? Oh, yes, you hid them in the cellar. Where?
I won't tell you.
I'll find them myself.
Don't do that, Mr. President.
But I have to notify my cabinet if I'm going to sign any proclamation.
But it must be a secret.
Secret proclamation? How unusual.
Japan mustn't know until it's signed.
Japan? Those yellow devils? I'll sign it right away. I'll notify the cabinet later.
All right, let's go sign it.
You wait here. A secret proclamation must be signed in secret.
But at once, Mr. President.
I'll put on my signing clothes.
Oh, you go now, eh?
No, Dr. Einstein, I'm waiting for something.
Please.
Something important.
Please, you go now.
Dr. Einstein, I have nothing against you personally. You seem like a nice fellow. That's why I'm going to give you some advice.
Trouble, ya. You get out.
All right, don't say I didn't warn you.
I'm warning you. Please, get out, quick.
Things are going to start popping around here any second.
Listen, Johnny's in a bad mood. When she's like that, she's a madman. Things happen. Terrible things.
Joan doesn't concern me now.
Don't those places teach you anything?
About what?
Well, the least of people in the place seem like they got some sense. That's more than you do.
Oh, so that's what you think. You think people in plays act intelligently. I wish I could see some of the plays I had to see. Take the little opus I saw tonight, for instance. There's a fellow. He's supposed to be bright. He knows he's in a house with murderers. He's been told to get out. He even knows that they're killing people as he speaks. Now, Doctor, does that sound something like an intelligent person would do?
Are you asking me?
He didn't even make sense to be frightened, to be on guard. In fact, the murderer asked him to sit down.
You mean, won't you sit down?
Believe it or not, that one was in there too.
And what did he do?
He sat down. Now, mind you, this fellow's supposed to be bright. There he sat, just waiting to be trussed up. And what did they use to tie him?
But,
The curtain cord.
oh, why not? Good idea. Very convenient.
A little too convenient. When are these playwrights going to use some imagination? The curtain cord.
Didn't he see him get it?
See him? He sat there with his back turned to him. That's the kind of stuff I gotta suffer through night after night. They say it's the critics who are killing the theater. It's really the playwrights who are killing the theater. So there he sat, the big dope, the fellow who's supposed to be bright, just waiting to be trussed up and gagged.
You're right about that fellow. He wasn't very smart.
And now, Mortimer, if you don't mind, we'll finish that lovely story. You know, I've been gone for 20 years, and never once in all that time, my dear brother, were you very far from my mind. In Melbourne one night, I had a dream about you. And then, when we landed in San Francisco, I had this strange satisfaction just from being in the same country as you. And now, Doctor, I think it's time that we went to work.
Please, Johnny, for me, a quick way.
Doctor, this has to be an artistic achievement. After all, we have a very distinguished critic in attendance, don't we?
Now, Johnny.
Doctor?
Great. Get it over with.
Yes. Now I think we're ready for you, Doctor.
I need a drink. I can't do this without a drink.
Get a hold of yourself, Doctor.
I need a drink. Benny came in here this afternoon. There was some wine. Where did she put that? Oh. We got a drink. That's all there is. I split it with you. Yeah, we both need a drink.
Doctor, where are your manners? Yes, Mortimer, I realize now it was always you who brought me back to Brooklyn. Doctor, to my dear dead brother. Damn that idiot! He goes next! He goes next!
Not Teddy! Not Teddy! That's where I stop.
We get to him next!
We don't get to him at all!
Now we have to move quick.
Yeah, the quick way.
Yes, the quick way.
Hey! Earl's got a good blow in that horn.
Yes, we're taking the bugle away from him, officer.
Promised the neighbors he wouldn't do that anymore. There's gonna be hell to pay in the morning.
We've got it all handled. It's all right. Good night, officer.
Well, I better speak to him myself. Where are the lights? Hey! You stood me up! I waited an hour at Kelly's for you. What happened to him?
He's explaining the play he saw tonight. That's what happened to the fellow in the play.
Is that what happened to the fellow in the play you saw tonight? What do you know? They practically stole that from my second act. Why, my second act just before the... No, I better start at the beginning. Starts off in my mother's dressing room, where I was born. Only I ain't born yet. Huh? Oh, yeah. No. You've got to hear the plot. So it starts off in my mother's dressing room, where she's making up scene. When all of a sudden, through the door, a man with a black mustache comes in, asks my mother, "Miss Latour, will you marry me?" He doesn't know she's pregnant. There she is, lying unconscious in her lingerie. The Chinaman, he's standing over her with the hatchet. I'm tied up in a chair, just like you are. The place is an inferno of flames. It's on fire. When all of a sudden, through the window, in comes Mayor LaGuardia. Hey, remember who paid for that? Take it easy on it.
Yeah, I'm listening, aren't I?
How do you like it so far?
Well, it put Johnny to sleep.
Ah, well, leave her alone. If that's as much interest as she's gonna show, she don't get a drink. All right. So it's 3 days later. I've been transferred and I'm under charges. That's because somebody stole my badge. All right. So I'm walking my beat down Staten Island, 46th precinct. When I got my arm following, it turns out, really following me. Don't let anybody in. So I figures out outsmart. There's a vacant house on the corner. I goes in. It's cops! I stands there in the dark, and I sees the door handle turn. Johnny, it's cops! Cops! I braces myself against the wall. I pulls my guns and I says, come in! Hello, boys!
What the hell's going on here?
Hey, Pat, what do you know? This is Mortimer Brewster. He's gonna write my play with me. I'm just telling him the story.
Did you have to tie him up to get him to listen?
You better report in, Joe. The whole force is looking for you.
Did they send you here looking for me?
We didn't know you was here.
No, we came to warn the old ladies that there's hell to pay. Colonel was blowing his bugle in the middle of the night again.
Yeah, the way the neighbors been calling in, you think the Nazis had dropped a bomb at Flatbush Avenue.
Yeah, the lieutenant's on the warpath. Says the colonel's got to be put away someplace.
Yes, yes.
You, Mr. Brewster, I gotta go. So I'll just run through the third act real quick.
Get him away from me. Say, you know what time it is? It's almost 8 o'clock in the morning.
It is. Well, gee, Mr. Brewster, them first two acts, they run a little long. But I don't see anything we can leave out.
You can leave it all out.
Hey, who the hell's this?
That's my sister.
The one that ran away? She came back?
She came back.
Huh? Hey, this is Brophy. Give me Mac. Hey, we better tell him we found you, Joe. Yeah, tell the lieutenant he called off the big manhunt. We found him. In the Brewster house. You want us to bring him in? Oh, all right. Yeah, we'll hold on to him here. Lieutenant's on his way over.
So, I've been turned in, have I? Well, all right, you've got me. And I bet you and that stool pigeon brother of mine are gonna split the reward, are you?
Reward?
Well, now I'll do some turning in. You think my aunts are sweet little old ladies, do you? Well, there are 13 bodies buried in that cellar.
Teddy! What the hell are you talking about?
You better be careful what you say about your aunts. They happen to be friends of ours.
Oh, you don't believe me? Well, you come along to the cellar. You just come along. I'll show you what's in the cellar.
Wait
13 bodies are buried down there. Oh, you don't want to see what's down in the cellar?
Hey, go on down to the cellar with it.
I don't know if I want to go in the cellar with her. Could you look at that puss? She looks like Bride of Frankenstein. Well, what do you know about that?
So then, what the hell are you men doing here? I told you I was going to handle this.
Well, we was about to.
What happened? She put up a fight?
Well, this ain't the one that blows the bugle. This is his sister. She was trying to kill Klein.
All I said was she looked like Bride of Frankenstein.
Turn her over, turn her over.
We kind of think she's wanted somewhere.
Oh, you kind of think that she's wanted something. Well, if you boys don't read the circulars that we hang up in the station, at least you could read True Detective. Of course she's wanted somewhere. In Indiana, she escaped from the prison for the criminal insane. She's a lifer. And for God's sakes, that's how she was described, as looking like the Bride of Frankenstein.
Did they mention a reward?
Yeah, they did. And I'm going to be the guy that claims.
She was trying to get us down into the cellar.
She said there's 13 bodies buried down there.
13 bodies in the cellar. 13 bodies in the cellar? And that didn't tip you off that she just came out of the nut house?
I thought all along she talked kind of crazy.
Well, if it isn't Shakespeare. Then all right. You needn't bother to tell me.
I've been right here, sir. Writing my play with Mortimer Brewster.
Well, you're going to have plenty of time to finish that play.
You're suspended. Now get back and report in.
Did I come by sometime and use the station typewriter?
No! Get out of here! See if you can take that gal somewhere and bring her to, will you? Oh, and while you're at it, see what you can find out about her accomplice. The person who helped her escape. He's wanted too. No wonder Brooklyn's in the shape it's in, with a police force like you full of flatheads that just were tricked by this story. 13 bodies in the cellar.
But there are 13 bodies in the cellar.
Who are you?
President Roosevelt.
What the hell is this?
This is the fellow that blows the bugle.
Good morning, Colonel.
Well, you've blown your last bugle, Colonel.
Dear me, another yellow fever victim?
What?
All the bodies in the cellar are yellow fever victims.
No, Colonel. This is a spy we caught in the White House.
Get her out of here. Just get her out.
If there be any questioning of spies, that's my department.
Yeah, you stay out of this.
You're forgetting. As president, I'm also the head of the Secret Service.
Captain, I'm Mortimer Brewster.
Are you sure?
Yes, I'd like to talk to you about my brother Teddy, the one who blew the bugle.
Mr. Brewster, we are not going to talk about that. He has to be put away.
Yes, I quite agree with you. That's why we had his commitment paper signed by Dr. Gilchrist, our family physician, Teddy, and myself as next of kin.
Yeah, well, where are you sending him?
Happydale.
Yeah, that's all right. You know, I don't care where he goes as long as he goes.
Oh, he's going all right.
Yeah. But you know, all of that stuff. Yeah. The 13 bodies in the cellar. You know, it ain't only that. But all of the neighbors are afraid of him. And it's disturbing the peace with that bugle. Now, can you even think of what would happen if that cockeyed story about 13 bodies in the cellar got around? And now he's starting a yellow fever scare? How cute.
13 bodies, who would believe that?
Well, you really can't tell. You know, there are some people that are just dumb enough. And sometimes you don't know what to believe. You know, about a year ago, this crazy guy starts a murder room over in Greenpoint. I had to dig up a half an acre, and what did I find? Didn't find anything.
Oh, please.
Yeah, answer the door, will you?
Good morning, Mortimer.
Good morning, dear.
This is Mr. Witherspoon. He's come to meet Teddy.
To meet Teddy?
Mr. Witherspoon is the superintendent of Happydale.
Yes, come right in. I'd like you to meet Captain.
Lieutenant. And I am very glad that you're here today, Super, because he's going right back with you today.
Today?
Not today.
Look, darling, I have some business to attend to. You run home and I'll call you up.
Nuts!
I have no idea, so immediate.
Oh yeah, papers are all signed and he goes today.
Complete insubordination. I'll have you men know I'm no mollycoddle. When the President of the United States is treated this way, it's no wonder what this country is coming to.
Super, there's your man.
Just hold on a second. Mr. President, I have some good news. Your term of office is over.
Is it March the 4th?
Practically.
Ah, yes. My hunting trip to Africa. I'll get started immediately. Is he trying to move into the White House before I've even moved out?
Who, Teddy?
Taft!
That's not Mr. Taft, that's Mr. Witherspoon. He's here to be your guide in Africa.
Oh, bully! Bully! I'll go get my equipment. When the safari comes, you can tell him to wait.
Goodbye, Teddy.
Goodbye. Goodbye, Teddy. I'm on my way to Africa.
Isn't it wonderful?
Charge!
Good Morning, dears.
Oh, we have visitors.
Yes, this is Lieutenant Rooney.
Oh, Lieutenant, how do you do? Why, you don't look like the bus budget the other policemen say you are.
The lieutenant is here because, you know, Teddy blew his bugle again last night.
Oh, yes, we'll speak to Teddy again about that.
Well, it's a little more serious than that, Miss Brewster.
And this is Mr. Witherspoon. He's the superintendent of Happydale.
Oh, how do you do, Mr. Witherspoon?
Oh, you come to meet Teddy.
He's come to take him.
Oh, no.
I'm sorry, but Teddy has to go to Happydale today.
Oh, no, we won't permit it.
No, not while we're alive.
Well, I'm sorry, Miss Brewster, but it has to be done. The papers have all been signed, and he's going along with the superintendent.
Well, if he's going, we're going.
Yes, you'll have to take us with him.
Well, why not?
Well, it's sweet of him to want to, but you see, we can't take sane people to Happydale.
Well, Mr. Witherspoon, if you let us come live there with Teddy, we'll make sure that Happydale is in our will, and for a very generous amount.
Well, the Lord knows we could use the money, but I don't see any.
Well, let's be sensible about this, ladies. For instance, here I am wasting my morning when I have serious work to do. Do you know that there are still some murders to be solved in Brooklyn?
Yes! There are.
It isn't only his bugle blowing and the fact that all the neighbors are afraid of him. But things are only going to get worse. Sooner or later, we'd be put to the trouble of digging up your cellar.
Our cellar?
Yes, it seems your nephew has been telling around that there are 13 bodies in your cellar.
But there are 13 bodies in our cellar.
If that's why you think Teddy needs to go away, then you come downstairs and we'll show you.
No, aunties. The lieutenant doesn't need to do that. He was telling you that just a year ago he had to dig up a half-acre lot. Weren't you, Lieutenant?
That's right.
Well, you wouldn't have to dig up anything down in our cellar. All the graves are marked. We put flowers on them every Sunday.
Flowers. Flowers. Superintendent, do you think that you have room for these ladies?
Well, I
You just come down in our cellar and I'll show you where those graves are.
I'll take your word for it, lady. I am a busy man. Well, how about it, Super?
Well, they'll have to be committed.
Well, Teddy committed himself. Can't they commit themselves? Can't they sign the papers?
Certainly.
Well, if we could go live with Teddy now, well, we'll sign the papers. Where are they?
Yes, where are they?
She's coming around there, Lieutenant.
Oh, hello, Mr. Klein.
Oh, Mr. Klein, you're here too.
Yeah, me and Ropey have got your niece out in the kitchen.
Well, sign them up, Super. I'd like to really get this all cleaned up. 13 bodies.
You sign here.
Right there.
You know, I'm actually really looking forward to going. The neighborhood has changed, so...
Just think. A front lawn again.
Oh.
What?
The signature of a doctor.
Oh.
Dr. Einstein! Won't you come over here?
Please, I must.
No, doctor, just come with me. You know, at one point last night, I thought the doctor was going to operate on me. Just sign right here, doctor. Just right there.
Were you leaving, Doctor?
Yes, I must go.
Aren't you going to wait for Joan?
Oh, I don't think we're going to the same place.
Hey, Elaine, I'm glad to see you. Stick around, will you?
Oh, don't worry, I'm going.
Hey, hello, Mac. This is Rooney. Hey, we picked up that gal that's wanted in Indiana. Now, on the desk, there's a sheet that has the accomplice on it, and I would really like to have you read me the description. Yeah, 62, Yeah, 164 pounds, 5'7.5" blue eyes, speaks with a German accent, and yeah, poses as a doctor. All right, that's good, Matt, thank you.
It's all right, Lieutenant. The doctor's just completed the signatures.
Doctor, Brooklyn owes you a great favor.
Now, Mr. Brewster, you sign. Why, of course.
Next of kin?
Yeah.
You're signing as next of kin.
This makes everything complete, everything legal, right? Oh, yes. Aunties, you're safe now. When do you think you'll be ready to start?
Well, why don't you go upstairs and show Teddy what he can bring with him? Yes, right upstairs.
Yes, I'll take you.
No, Mortimer, you stay here. We'd like to speak to you about something. That's right, Mr. Witherspoon. Right upstairs and to the left.
Well, Mortimer, now that we're moving, this house really is yours.
Yes.
No, this house is too full of memories.
But when you and Elena marry, you'll need a home.
Yes, yes, and we want you to live here.
Now, darling, that's very indefinite.
It is nothing of the kind. Mortimer and I are going to be married right away.
Well, Mortimer, we're really quite worried about something, though.
Now, darling, you're going to love it at Happydale.
Oh, that's just it. We're very happy about the whole thing. That's just it. We don't want anything to go wrong.
Right. Do you think they're going to investigate those signatures?
Don't worry, they won't look up Dr. Einstein.
Oh, it's not Dr. Einstein's we're worried about, dear. It's yours.
Yes, you see, you signed as next of kin.
Of course, why not?
Well, dear, it's something we really didn't want to have to tell you, but now that you're an adult, and, well, Elaine, you ought to know as well, the fact is you're really not a Brewster.
You see, your mother came here as a cook, and you were born about 3 months later. And she was such a sweet woman and such a very good cook. We didn't want to lose her, so Brother married her.
I'm not really a Brewster?
Well, it's nothing to feel badly about, dear.
No, and Elaine, it won't matter to you.
Elaine, did you hear? Do you understand? I'm a bastard!
I feel better. I better make some breakfast.
Mortimer's coming over to my house. Father's gone to Philadelphia, and Mortimer and I are going to have breakfast together.
Yes, I need some coffee. I've had quite a night.
Oh, well, I should think in that case you'd want to get to bed.
I do.
1 minute with a fork. Take this with you.
Where's the spoon?
Well, we won't need the wagon. My car is right out front.
Oh, June! Are you leaving?
Yes, she's going back to Indiana. There are some people there that want to take care of her for the rest of her life. Come on.
Well, Joan, it's good to know you have somewhere to go.
We're moving too.
Yes, we're going to Happydale.
Then this house has seen the last of the Brewsters.
Well, unless Mortimer wants to live here.
Might I make a suggestion? Why don't you donate it to the church?
We never thought of that.
After all, it should be part of the cemetery.
All right, let's go. I'm a busy man. Come on.
Goodbye, aunties. I can't better my record now, but neither can you. It stands 12 to 12. You hear me? 12 to 12.
That Joan always was such a mean girl. Never could stand to let anyone get ahead of her.
I wish there was some way we could show her that she wasn't so smart.
Mr. Witherspoon! Lieutenant Happydale a part of your family?
I don't think you quite understand us. How did the institution have to keep quiet?
Oh, well, that must make it very lonely for you.
It does. But my duty is my duty.
Well, Martha, I think that if Mr. Witherspoon cannot join us for breakfast, the least he could do would be to join us for a glass of wine. Elderberry wine. Do sit down.
Elderberry wine?
Yes.
Why, yes. But at Happydale, our relationship will be more formal. But here, you don't see much elderberry wine nowadays.
Oh, no, we make this ourselves.
I thought I had my last glass.
Oh, no.
No, here it is.